Snowy mountains, quiet campsites, no crowds. Winter can be the best time of year to own a camper van, but only if you've built it to survive. In this video, we're going to show you how to get your van winter ready. These are the steps you're going to have to do to make sure that your van is ready for that climate. So stick around to the end, because in this video, we're going to give you a step-by-step process of what we do with our camper vans to make sure that they're running perfectly all year round. In this section of the video, we're going to be going over what steps and measures you need to be taking to get your camper van ready during the build process. So what we use in our van is a high density insulation. We use this thermal wrap that we actually get from a company called Dodo. What this wrap will do is this will just cover over the outside skin, so it will basically combat the cold temperatures that you're getting from the outside of the van. We then use it to seal it with this foil tape that will basically cover over all of the edges so that you're not getting a thermal bridge. It's very important when you're using this thermal wrap that you're wrapping not only just the outside walls and then the outside skin on the wheel arches, you're also doing the ceiling and the floors. We use a sandwich ply. This has got expanding polyurethane in the middle of it, so this would basically class as your insulation on the floor. Ventilation is a must when you're doing your camper van build. On this van, this is the sunroof, but it's actually got vents just underneath here. So this is where warm air or the moisture in the air will move out of the vehicle when you've got your heating on or anything like that. So the reason why having ventilation is very important is because if you have no ventilation in your van at all, you're using your heating system to warm up your camper van and your living space. If you've got no ventilation, what will happen is that any moisture that you have trapped in your vehicle has somewhere to travel to. If you've got the vents in, obviously your moisture is going to go straight out of the vehicle when you're using your heating. So in this section, guys, we're going to be going over protecting your water system. We fit this thermal blanket onto these underslung systems just to give it a bit of protection against the colder weather, and it's to give it a bit of a heat blanket. We also fit these heat probes onto these tanks as well. This is a manual heat probe. When insulating your water pipes, we would always advise people to insulate this with pipe lagging. It's just to add a little bit of a thermal element to those pipes underneath the vehicle. What we would advise is positioning your water pipe work inside the vehicle with the heat pipe work as well. When your heater is in use, this will then heat up the water pipe and act as like a heat support to it. All that lagging is going to do anyway is it's going to slow down the freezing process of the vehicle. So if you're going in conditions where you're not going to be below freezing temperatures all the time, it might not always be essential to put this lagging inside the vehicle. So guys, in this section, we're going to be talking about heating and ventilation. Diesel heaters are great, but if you're serious about winter camping, it's about knowing exactly how the heat moves through your van, about where to locate your heater ducts. If you're putting your water tanks inside the van, what you can do is you can use some of these heating ducts to actually be nearby where your water setup is. And what this will do is it will just give you a bit more of a heat cover for that water tank, just in case you are going through like really cold conditions. That heater duct will act as like a little heat support, so that tank might not freeze or get seriously cold. Obviously, if you are using your van a lot in the winter, it is imperative that you have a good heating system and a good ventilation system as well. What will happen is if there's no ventilation there, the moisture off all of the clothes, off you, off your boots, it's got nowhere to go. If you don't have a good ventilation system, all of this moisture is just going to be trapped in your van. So having a good heating setup, it comes hand in hand. You need a good ventilation system as well. In this section of the video, we're going to be going over electrical system considerations. Cold kills lead acid batteries. You'll run into problems if left in cold environments. Generally, lithium batteries are always a better option, but they don't always perform the best in low temperature conditions. A way around this is you can wrap your battery with a thermal cover, and then this will give it an extra heat source. Some lithium batteries have charging elements, which is great to compensate low temperature conditions whilst charging. These heaters are crucial for performance in colder environments. One thing to remember as well is with the MPPT charger and fuse boxes, keep them in a dry area. You don't want to be keeping them in like an area where it's going to be too hot, and you don't want to be keeping them in an area where it's going to be getting really cold either. Also, one to remember as well with the storage of your vehicle over the winter period is to remember just to plug it in and keep it charged up. What this will do is it will keep a constant supply of charge to the battery. What you don't want to do is your battery just be depleted, because then that will destroy the longevity of the battery. Just keeping it topped up over the winter period when you're not using it will just keep that battery at a nice, comfortable level where it's not going to deteriorate. In this section, we're going to be going over prepping and things to do when you're leaving your van for storage over the winter. When you've done with all your trips over the winter period, what you don't want to do is just park up and leave it and forget about it. Fully drained water tank, pipes and boiler. What you don't want to do is leave water in these systems. Turn on the pumps and open all of the taps, because what this will do is it will give the water that's left in the line a route so it doesn't build up in the water system. Some heating systems will have frost protection valves. Now, this is very useful if your temperature suddenly changes and it drops below a certain point. What this will do is it will dump water out of your system, so it will prevent the water from freezing inside of that system, which will then obviously lead to it being damaged, or you will need a repair on it. In all fairness, you can't really over prep your van when it comes to winter storage. We get a compressed air line here and we'll just hold that up to the line and we'll blow air through those lines just to make sure that there's no water left in there. When it comes to leaving your fridge over the winter period, what we would say is just obviously clean it thoroughly. Make sure that there's no food or damp items left in the fridge. Just make sure to leave the door open as well. So if your fridge comes with a door stop feature, then obviously that's great, use that. But if you don't have that, just use a rag to wedge in between the door, just so it's not closing. You want it slightly ajar to allow for airflow. What you can do is you can use one of these moisture absorbers. This is just basically to just absorb any moisture that's left in the fridge. You know, you've got to take precautions with this because your fridge can go moldy very fast if left unattended. Canvas roofs and soft materials. If you've got a pop-top roof, this is where you can get caught out. Never store your van in the winter if you've got a wet canvas on your pop-top. If you close the pop-top and all the canvas is wet, and you've got two wet parts of fabric that are just closing in on each other, what will happen is that water will just turn into mould. There's also great mould sprays that you can buy as well. We always recommend people getting this one from B&Q. It does wonders for trying to combat and get rid of the mould marks that you might have. And also a great one as well, lifting up your mattress cushions and organising them in a position where they can get airflow in there. You don't want to just leave a mattress down if it's got a bit of damp, because that can be a way for mould to grow as well. These are all small little tips and tricks that you can do that, you know, take 5 minutes of your time, could save you so much money if you have a mouldy canvas or mouldy cushions that you have to replace. Do these small little tips and tricks and you'll be thankful for it in the long run. So guys, for exterior wise, what you can do with your vehicle is just make sure that your tyres are all inflated, give them a lot of air in there, just so you're going to prevent any bald spots from them being sat still, stationary for a long period of time. Ones that people forget as well is with the door seals. So you can get silicone sprays, which are great for just giving a couple of sprays around the seal, just to make sure that you're not getting any cracking. What can happen is obviously with the cold weather conditions, the rubber's getting really cold over the night, warming up throughout the day. So just to make sure that you're giving a little bit of attention on the seals to prevent cracking. So guys, another exterior check to do is for paintwork. So this one's not quite essential, but we would recommend doing it is waxing your paintwork. What happens during the winter periods, salt spreading goes over on the roads. What can happen is the salt can get into your paintwork and then start to rust, especially if you've got a vehicle that's got an older paintwork. They're ones to take into account. Like I said, it's not essential, but we would advise waxing the paint just to give it that bit of more protection on the salt on the roads. So Fraser, would you just be able to just run through a step-by-step process of what you would do on our vehicles to get the van ready for winterisation?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a big consideration for us. A lot of our clients take their vans away for winter holidays, a lot of skiing. So to start off, right to the basics, insulation. It's mostly Dodo insulation that we'll fit. It's a mixture of a kind of rubberized insulation that gets put onto the exterior panels, the inside of the exterior panels. Then we pack the cavities loosely with a Dodo thermal fleece, which is the recycled plastic bottle wool insulation. It's important not to overpack it, otherwise it loses its thermal quality. We have thermal lined floors, which have got like a foam in between the sandwich board, and then we do the same in the ceiling all the way around as we do in the walls. It's really important not to forget the ceiling. A lot of people do when they build their campers, they only think about the outside walls, and also to think about the doors as well, and the cab doors, because they're essentially part of your habitation area as well. And then if we move on to water, because our tanks are mostly fitted outside the van, just for space really. If we have somebody that's doing an awful lot of winter activities, then we'd fit them inside for them if they wanted that. But if with them getting fitted outside, we'll fit them with thermal blankets on the outside. We use the same Dodo insulation. We'll use them to wrap the water tanks that we've got, and then we use, it's like a heat probe that we drill and fit into the tank. And what that does is it keeps the water liquid down to about -15 degrees outside. If you are going to go colder climates than that, then there is more extreme things you can do. You can get heat pads, which are good down to -40, and using a conjunction of them with the probes as well is always a good idea in that kind of situation. The pipework, we would just lag the pipework, to be honest, but if you're going to be doing a lot of outside winterising, then you can get a thermal tape, and it's actually got electrical components inside it, so you wrap the tape around about your pipework outside for your fresh and your grey water, and then you plug it in, and it will heat the pipework as well, so your pipes, the water doesn't freeze in your pipes on its way to the tank, because there's no point in having a liquid tank and then a pipe that's
really
completely frozen solid.
I mean, I think these are all great steps and easy measures that you can take to avoid big repair bills or, costs that you don't want in the future. So small little bit of effort, time and care and attention, save yourself repair jobs in the future. If you've liked this video, give us a thumbs up and like, comment and subscribe. Any questions that you've got at all, just drop them in the comment section and we'll do our best to answer them.